Wagwan my people, welcome back to my channel on social. If this is your first time visiting here, then I'm happy to have you in my space. If you've been here before, welcome back and I hope you enjoyed today's video. In case you don't already know, my name is Kris and I'm a Caribbean girl. I'm happy to be here sharing with you today all about my plans for Make 9 2024. Just before I get into my plans, full disclosure, I'm not wearing any me-made items today. So I came home from work and decided to film this video, and I'm actually wearing a dress that belonged to my mom who's no longer with us. So I had a big meeting at work today and I felt like I needed her spirit near me, so I put on one of her dresses. So no me-mades today. But there is a new me-made on my dress form, Christina. This is actually the McCall's 7974 and I'm going to be doing a full review on this pattern coming up shortly on this channel. So if that's something that you think you might be interested in, please make sure to come back and check out that video. But for today's video, we're going to be focusing on Make 9 2024. So, I'm not sure when Make 9 got started, but I know it's been around for at least 7 years because I did see somebody on Instagram mentioning that this is their 7th year participating in the channel. In the challenge, I beg your pardon. In case you don't know, Make 9 is a challenge that challenges creatives to plan out 9 different makes for the current year. So as a sewist, sewer, seamstress, whatever it is you guys are calling yourselves, then the plan is to come up with 9 different garments that you would like to make for 2024. Now, instead of naming specific garments, I've gone ahead and chosen categories of makes that I want to indulge in for 2024. The reason is, you guys, I'm really spontaneous and I do have some commitment issues, except to my husband, who I am fully committed to. But other than that, I do have commitment issues. I get bored really easily and I get distracted by new shiny objects. And in this case, I'm talking about new shiny patterns. So I've gone ahead and I've done categories for my Make 9 2024 and I'll pop my grid up so you guys can see what the categories are that I'm thinking about for this year. Now, I have gone ahead and made some notes on my iPad, so if you see me looking down, it's because I've got notes in front of me, just so I don't forget what I want to share with you guys. But for each category, I have come up with a couple options that I'm thinking about exploring. Don't hold me to any of these options. They are subject to change since I have said that I've done categories instead of specific garments. But just to get my creative juices flowing, I have gone ahead and written down just a couple tentative items that I want to make in the particular category. So the first category on my grid is Selfless Sew. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to sew up these items in order. Knowing me, I'll probably be jumping around my grid throughout the year, but I'm going to go through them across, and across, just so you guys can have ease of reference to what I'm talking about. So for category 1, which is Selfless Sew, I'm thinking about making either the True Bias Hudson sweatpants for my husband. I did talk about this just a little bit in my last video about my fabric haul from Style Maker Fabrics. I did go ahead and order 2 yards of, I think it was a sweatshirting fabric or something like that, to make him up the True Bias Hudson pants this year. Alternatively, my brother has asked me to make him a button-down shirt. Now, he did bring me some fabric, which is this gorgeous Ankara right here in this beautiful like pink and maroon sort of like print. I really like this and I think it's going to make for a gorgeous shirt. I have in fact started cutting it out, but I need to go ahead and construct it for him. So I think that might fit the bill for Selfless Sew. Now, on a side note, I don't typically like sewing for other people. I just feel like there's so much added pressure in sewing for someone else. There are often like deadlines, there are fit issues, you're dealing with a completely different body type, and for me it does get sort of overwhelming. So I like to avoid sewing for other people unless it's children, and I really prefer to sew for myself. But this year I want to make an effort to sew either for my brother or my husband, or both if they're lucky. So for my first grid, it's Selfless Sew. Now moving on to my second grid, I want to tackle either a blazer or a bomber jacket for 2024. Now, I've made jackets before. I think last year I made a Simplicity pattern by Mimi G. I can't remember the number right now, but I did make one jacket last year and I want to make another one this year, or alternatively to make a bomber jacket specifically. Now, I've had the idea of a bomber jacket on my mind for quite some time, and I do have a couple of pins pinned on a Pinterest board with bomber jacket ideas. Now, I do live in a very, very hot country, and so I don't need anything that's too heavyweight, but I do want to make something that's fun and that's, you know, full of Caribbean flavor and funky and fresh, just like myself. So I have come up with just a couple options for a bomber jacket. And the first one I've come up with is the Itch to Sew Causeway bomber. So I'll go ahead and pop the line drawings in right here. Now, I've never made an Itch to Sew pattern before, and I want to go about exploring indie patterns for my Make 9 challenge. Like, I think I forgot to say that. When I'm doing my Make 9 challenge for this year, I have focused predominantly on indie patterns. Like last year, I find that I sewed up a lot of the big 5 patterns, and that's because I'm just drawn to them, because I've sort of figured out the fit adjustments and the sizing and whatnot that I need in the big 5 patterns. But this year, I really want to focus on indie patterns. So all of my Make 9 pattern choices this year will be indie patterns. So right, like I was saying, I want to try out Itch to Stitch this year. Now, what drew me to the Causeway bomber jacket in particular was because it has princess seams. Now, I really am a big fan of princess seams. I like the fit that they give over the bust. Now, your bust can be the same size as your sister, as your friend, or as just a fellow YouTuber, but your shape can be completely different. And I find that fitting darts on a bust can be quite challenging to get the right shape and the right length. Whereas with princess seams, in my mind, they are so much easier to fit and to go over the curve of that bust tissue. And I just really like the shaping that princess seams provide. So I was particularly drawn to the Causeway bomber because of this. Now, this pattern comes with a very large size range, ranging from a 00 up to a size 40. So this is really a size inclusive pattern. Now, I'm not sure, you know, what the drafting is like for Itch to Stitch patterns, but I do think I want to go ahead and give the Causeway bomber a try. The other bomber jacket that I did have a look at was the Style Arc Bobbi bomber, and I think I first saw the Bobbi bomber from Karen. I think her handle on Instagram is Into Stitches, and she made the most amazing bomber jacket in this, like, was it like a tribal ice golden green fabric, and it really did catch my eye. So I went ahead and looked up the Bobbi bomber by Style Arc patterns. Now, I do own, I think, 2 or 3 Style Arc patterns, but I've never actually sewn any of them. The instructions are very scant, and I think earlier on in my sewing, I did avoid them because I needed some more hand holding. I am much more comfortable sewing now, and I don't need as much hand holding. So I did take a look at the Bobbi bomber. I think that the Itch to Stitch bomber sort of edges it out just because of the additional shaping provided by the princess seams, but it's still left for decision. So I haven't thought yet about my fabric choices or anything of the sort for my bomber jacket, but I do think I want to absolutely make a bomber for this year's 2024 Make 9 challenge. All right, so moving on to category 3, let's talk button downs. So I'm a huge fan of button downs. I do work in an office, and I find button downs to be quite handy, especially when I have to go to court. And so on my Make 9 for this year, I do want to make a button down shirt. Now, I have thought about a few options for button downs, one being the Grain Line Archer shirt, but I have made that pattern, I think, 2 or 3 times before, and I'm considering exploring a different pattern just so I can do something new to me. Now, I thought about the Vicky Sew's Cynthia shirt. I do already own this pattern, but I haven't made it up, and I do own another Vicky Sew's button down pattern. I can't remember the name right now, but there is another one that I'm also considering making. At the moment, the Cynthia shirt is standing out to me just because I already own it and I have already printed and stuck that PDF pattern together. It's just to make any adjustments that I need to make and then go ahead and cut out my shirt. So for this year's Make 9, I'm thinking about tackling the Cynthia shirt pattern. Now, if I make the Cynthia, there are a couple changes that I think I need to make. First thing is, it's a very long shirt pattern. I think it's designed to hit like mid-thigh. Now, if I'm going to make this shirt pattern, I do think I want to make a shorter version of the Cynthia shirt, because I want to be able to tuck it into my skirts for work and for court and that sort of thing. And I also want to be able to wear it like very casually. It is designed to be like an oversized shirt, so I want to be able to rock it over like a vest and jeans, and I also want to be able to rock it under like my blazers and with a skirt for court. So I'm going to have to shorten that pattern considerably. I'm thinking off the top of my head at least 3 to 4 inches, but once I pull my pattern and do the measurements and whatnot, then I can decide what adjustments I need to make. Now, I did show you guys this fabric on my Style Maker fabric tour fabric haul fabrics, and I'm thinking that this fabric will make a gorgeous button down shirt. So at the moment, I'm considering making my Cynthia button down shirt using this fabric. Again, you guys, don't hold me to this. This is all subject to change. These are just my plans at the moment, but I might very well change my mind either about the pattern or about the fabric. But at least for now, this is where my mind is at, paired with the Vicky Sew's Cynthia shirt. Now, I've not made a Vicky Sew's pattern before, as I said before. And one of the drawbacks I find with Vicky Sew's patterns is that the sizes don't come nested. And by nested, I mean you don't get the entire size range or like a portion of the size range or anything of the sort. You kind of just have to choose one size with one height, and that's what you pay for and that's what you get. Now, typically, I do have to grade my sizes between my shoulders and my bust because I am quite petite above my bust area, like from my torso, as a matter of fact, to my shoulders is quite petite. I am very short-waisted, and so I typically have to go ahead and grade my patterns from my shoulders to my arm side, then grade out to accommodate my C-cup bust, sometimes grade out for my waist depending on the pattern that I'm working on, and then the hip area is subject to change. So I do like to have patterns that are nested so that I can grade in and out of the appropriate sizes. But like I said, the Cynthia shirt as a Vicky Sew's pattern is like a one size shirt, so I'm going to have to make any fit adjustments on a whim. Now, I usually like to do a toile, but I think I'm going to be brave and skip my toile for the Cynthia shirt just because it's designed to be like an oversized shirt anyway. So I don't think that there are many fit adjustments that I'll need to go ahead and make above and beyond the length adjustments. But if there are, then I'm going to just go ahead and do them on a whim. So fingers crossed it works out in my favor. Now, my next grid category is skirts. Now, last year I made 7 skirts compared to, I think, 14 or 15 tops and 18 dresses. Now, I really am a dress girl at heart, but I do like to have separates for work and for other specific like occasions. So this year I want to go ahead and make some more skirts. I haven't quite thought about what kind of skirt I want to make, whether it's going to be something that's more tailored fit for work or whether it's going to be something more casual. And so right now my notes are blank under the skirts category. I don't have much to share with you guys about skirts, but I do know that I definitely want to make a skirt for 2024. So let's see how that one works out. For number 5, I've left a creative liberty space. So this is just really a free space just because I know you guys, I'm going to get attracted to something, some new pattern that's released this year that I'm going to rush and want to make up. So I've left this space pretty much blank so that I can fill it in at a later date with whatever new shiny pattern happens to be out there for 2024. Now, under slot number 6, I want to make a bag. Now, you guys, I did the not the Itch to Stitch, what am I saying? The Black Women's Stitch podcast. I was a guest back in December. They had a Christmas special podcast and they were talking about like Christmas traditions. And my Christmas tradition really is to make a bag. I have made bags, I think, every Christmas for the last I want to say at least for the last 4 years. And this year I plan to make a bag around Christmas time. And I think I want to make the mag bag by Ruti. Like, she's my friend over on Instagram. Her handle is Thalia's something. I'll pop her handle in right here so you guys can go over and check her out. She is a new pattern designer, and she came up with a mag bag late last year. I really wanted to pattern test that one, but I didn't have all the supplies on hand. And like I said, I live on a tiny island in the Caribbean Sea and we don't have any fabric stores here. Everything that I have has to be ordered from either the United States or the United Kingdom, and they do take quite a while to get here to me. And so I missed out on the opportunity to test the mag bag, but it's really, really cute. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of the ones that she has made or the line drawings or whatnot, so I can show you guys what it looks like. Now, it's sort of like a triangle shaped bag. I think it has a unique shape for a bag, and I'm really excited about giving that one a go. So I think I need to go ahead and order some supplies so I can tackle the mag bag at some point this year, probably around Christmas time, as per my Christmas tradition. Now, my next slot is knit fabric. Now, this is not really like a garment category. This is a fabric category, but I've gone ahead and included it on my Make 9 just because, you guys, I don't like sewing knit fabrics. Up until last year, I've pretty much avoided knit fabrics. I think before last year, I probably made like 1 or maybe 2 dresses this year will make 6 years of me sewing, and I've made very few knit garments. I did push myself last year to give them a little bit more space, a little bit more of a try, and I do think I made 2 or 3 garments. I do remember making the Arlington top by Love Notions, and I think I made another knit pattern, but I can't think about it right now. But this year I do want to put one knit pattern on my list for my Make 9 2024. So I've just put knit fabric just because I haven't thought about what the knit pattern is that I might want to make. And like I said, for my Make 9 this year, I do want to focus on the indie pattern companies. So I am a Love Notions ambassador, which means that I get access to their catalogs, their catalog, Lord Kristen, slow down, their catalog of patterns for free. So I might go ahead and take a look at what they have to offer in the knit garment category and see if there's anything on their catalog that I want to try this year for my knit make. Aside from that, I'm going to have to go ahead and hunt through some other pattern companies to see like what's available, what's beginner friendly, because I do consider myself a beginner sewist in the category of knit fabrics. That's like a whole different ball game, and I will go ahead and explore, and then I'll come back and share with you guys at some point during this year, hopefully, what I've come up with for my knit fabric make. Now, on the slot number 8, we've made it down to my favorite category, which is dresses. And you guys, I can think of so many dresses off the top of my head that I want to go ahead and give a try. But the one I think that is standing out the most to me right now, and again, it's subject to change, is the Butte J'adore puff sleeve top. Now, you guys, Nikki is the bomb diggity. She is an amazing designer. She does design for Mimi G's line, the Know Me Patterns, which is part of the Big 5 company. But I'm actually drawing on one of her actual indie patterns under my Make 9 for 2024, and it is the puff sleeve top. Now, I've seen a couple of these over on Instagram, and I really, really, really love the silhouette of the dress paired with those big puffy sleeves, and I'm really, really excited to give this one a try. Now, the dress is like, is it like a shift dress or an A-line dress sort of silhouette, sort of more fitted at the bust area and sort of flares out towards the knee, but it has the most gorgeous puff sleeves, and that is what is drawing me to this dress. So at the moment, that is the front runner for dresses for 2024, and I'll see if anything tops that before I get around to sewing up this category. But for now, on my mind the Butte Jador puff sleeve top. Now, under the final category, which is blouses, I've been thinking about making one of two patterns from Tessuti. Now, Tessuti is a new to me pattern company, and I think I've seen, who did I see? I saw somebody over on Instagram posting the Ray top. Now, I don't think that the Ray top is a new release, but it did catch my eye when I saw it on my grid, and I ran over to check out Tessuti, and I discovered both the Ray top and their Hillary top, and I'm quite fond of the line drawings for both of these tops. Now, the Ray top has like this gathered neckline situation, and it is either sleeveless, I think, or has like a, what are those sleeves called? Like a balloon sleeve type thing, if I remember correctly. Now, the Hillary top, on the other hand, has like a boat neckline, and it does have like elastic at the sleeve head and some bishop-like sleeves, and it does have elastic at the waist and a peplum. Now, I'm really drawn to peplum tops. I think they complement my body shape quite nicely. I am a rectangle body shape. The difference between my shoulders and my hips are not that much, and I think that fits me into the rectangular shaped category. And I really think that the peplum style top really does give my body a really nice shaping that I like. So this particular peplum has elastic at the waist, which means it will cinch in at my waist, and I do like to have fitting around my waist to help accentuate my waistline. And I do like the idea of a peplum top to help cover up some of that additional baby fat that I'm still walking around with almost a year and a half after having my son. So the peplum top by Tessuti, which is called the Hillary top, is standing out in my mind for my Make 9 2024. So I think it's going to come down to either the Hillary top or, like I said, the Ray top, because I really do like the elasticized or gathered neckline situation that top has going on. So you guys, those were my ideas for Make 9 2024. So like I said, I've never done this challenge before, and I do have a tendency to stray and go all over the place with my sewing. But this year I want to challenge myself, thanks to my girl Diana, to sort of zoom in and focus on these 9 categories that I've put on my Make 9 board. So wish me luck, you guys, and if you're interested to see how it all turns out, be sure to keep coming back to my YouTube channel so you can see what progress I'm making on my Make 9 challenge and what progress I'm making on my sewing in general. Alright, Stitchers, that's all I have for you guys today, and I'm hoping that you have enjoyed looking at my Make 9 plans with me for 2024. Be sure to comment down below and let me know whether you have participated in this challenge before, whether you're considering doing it this year, and if you are going to do it this year, what's the approach that you have taken to Make 9 2024. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I am trying to build my YouTube community, and I can really only do that with you guys' help. So if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to click the subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you can stay up to date with my upcoming YouTube videos. So that's it for me today, you guys, and until next time, peace.